Good morning, Raptorsfreak. Alexiot's here. Monday morning. We're going to do a Monday memory today. And the Monday memory today is for the game that was on New Year's Eve last year here in Toronto against the Clippers. And there's been a kind of thing that I've done in the past couple years. When the Raptors play on New Year's Eve here in Toronto, there was kind of a tradition that I was building with my girlfriend and I of going to a Raptor game on New Year's Eve to kind of try and we did it the year after we won the championship in 2020. We went to a New Year's Eve game for New Year's 2020 when we played the Cavs on New Year's Eve, and it was such a nice time. It was fun. I don't drink, so I don't want to go out and be crazy on New Year's Eve. So I do want to do something special. So we had been planning, and she had bought tickets to this game against the Clippers that was happening on New Year's Eve last year. And what happened was we had the huge surge in COVID around Ontario at that time. That was really kind of like a dumb thing where American Thanksgiving happened and everybody went back out, and COVID numbers spiked up. And so they shut down our building last year around Christmas, around the holidays. And I remember I went to the Golden State game that was half capacity and Christmas, and all the Raptors had COVID at this time. Like they had all been sitting out. And we had that crazy Cleveland game where we played our end of the bench guys with G League replacement players. And it was just a tough time for the Raptors. We had started rolling at the beginning of December. And then we had all our momentum kind of hurt all of a sudden because all of our players weren't available. And this Clippers game was one of these games where some of the guys were coming back and some of them hadn't. But the interesting thing about this game was this was the first game since like November where OG and Pascal actually played together. And this was a huge kind of synergy. In fact, the reason why the Raptors won this game against the Clippers, which is a very, very close game, they only won by a little bit. It was tied with under 3 minutes to go. And the Raptors had to show veteran poise and determinism to carry this win out. Like we all talk about the failures of Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet, but do we talk about their successes enough? Because this was a game where they had every chance to fail, but they did not. They executed themselves and made a lot of the key baskets near the end of the game to win this game for the Raptors over the Clippers. Now, it wasn't the best version of the Clippers, but there was still some real good talent on the other side of the court playing them. Of course, no Kawhi, no Paul George, but a lot of the other guys were there, including Serge Ibaka, which was very interesting and fun to see. Serge Ibaka playing against the Raptors, coming back to Toronto, but they messed up. They did a whole package of like celebrating Serge Ibaka's career as a Raptor and all this stuff, put it up on the video screen, but there was nobody in the fucking building. It's like, why did you do this? Why did you go and like give him a tribute when there was nobody there to cheer him and kind of give him that love and ovation in the building? And that was something that informed Kyle's decisions on when he wanted to do it. And Danny Green, same thing, because these guys are former Raptor champions on that picture behind me, and we want to celebrate them. We wanted to shower them with love, and since that we had to play in Tampa and they left and they didn't really get the right goodbye from our team and stuff like that. So we wanted to give them the real rousing celebration, like, hello, we're glad you're back and stuff. But we didn't get to do that because the building was closed. And the tribute to Serge was so stupid. Like, why did you even do it, Raptors? So this season, when Serge Ibaka comes back to Scotiabank Arena to play the Raptors, we need to do this correctly. Okay, Raptors organization, because that wasn't good enough. I'm sorry. That's not what that man deserved, was an empty arena with just a video on the video board. All right, G saying, I called the Celtics getting the KD sweepstakes their turn for all the annoying rumors and trade options. Yeah, G, I'm waking up to see that the Celtics are now involved in talks with Brooklyn to get Kevin Durant. Now, this is great. I think this is a good thing in like a couple different ways. This is good because, listen, Brooklyn probably needs help to change themselves from being a dumpster fire. Now, if they can get a little bit of dumpster fire over to Boston and kind of mess them up, that's great. And I've heard the trade package that Brooklyn wants for Kevin Durant. They want Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart and picks. Meanwhile, Boston wants to give them Jaylen Brown and Derek White and picks. So that's an interesting impasse. It's basically that Boston wants to keep Marcus Smart, and Brooklyn's saying he has to be a part of the deal. Sean Marks is being a real hard ass, and he really is trying to get like crazy stuff for Kevin Durant. Boston, if they did that, if they gave up Smart and Brown, that would change the whole identity of their Boston team. And I think they should do it because I think it would be great for the Raptors. I think it would be fantastic if we did that trade. Come on, NBA, let them do that. Go on, do it, Boston. Trade Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant. Please go ahead and do that. Do that. I want to see the dumpster fires that are started in Boston and in Brooklyn after that. Like, you want Marcus Smart playing with Ben Simmons? Oh, I would love to see that. That would be fantastic drama. It'd be hilarious. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Boston, you go ahead and do a little bit of damage to your franchise because of all the KD trade talks swirling around. We've seen how that can affect our fan nation and the things that happen with KD trade talk in the last month. So let's go ahead and let Boston get a little bit of damage and problems with their franchise and their fan nation because of being worried about getting traded all of a sudden. I'm sure Jaylen Brown feels great about all this talk this morning and hearing that Boston's ready to send him to Brooklyn at a heartbeat. That this is the part of the deal that they don't care about. That they'll trade Jaylen Brown like that. They don't care. It's not like us. We're saying, no, we're not. We won't trade Scotty. I'm sorry, no, we won't trade Scotty. I'm sorry, no, we won't trade Pascal. And meanwhile, Boston said, we'll trade Jaylen Brown. Yeah, that's real good for team chemistry. That's real good for making guys feel comfortable and confident about being on the team. That's real good for reinforcing Jaylen Brown in his place on the Boston Celtics. That's what I'll say to all that right there. Oh, yeah. Good morning to Monique. Good to see you. Good to see you, G. Also, good to see you, Shane Waters. Agreed, Lex. Serge was a big part of that championship. Offensive rebounding machine that the whole playoff run. Yeah, Serge was great. Interesting thing about this game that we played against the Clippers on New Year's Eve last year is we totally out-rebounded them. We killed them on rebounding. In fact, it's weird because in this whole game, we shot worse than them from the field. We shot worse than them from the three-point line. We shot worse than them and got less free throws than them. And we still managed to beat the Clippers in a close game. How did we do that? How did we beat the Clippers when we shot worse than them? Well, we out-rebounded the hell out of them. We got like 20 more rebounds than them. Plus, we got like 25 more field goal attempts than them. And that's how we made up for it. We hustled. We worked hard. We went and got the ball. We made more extra possessions to outscore them, even though we shot worse than them. And that's a fantastic thing. I love seeing that. Pascal Siakam himself got 19 rebounds in this game. This was his career high for rebounds ever. 19 rebounds. What a fantastic game by Pascal. Seriously. I mean, the dude had what? Let's see. What did he have for points? He had 25 points, 19 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. He shot 10 for 20. Just a badass. Pascal leading the way for the Raptors with Fred and OG because it really was a three-prong attack between our 3 really good vets from the championship year. OG Anunoby, 26 points, 8 of 16 shooting, and then Fred, 31 points, 10 of 27 shooting, but 9 assists. Fred had a pretty good game too. So it was really those 3 leaders that led the Raptors at that time. And as I said before, this was one of the few times this season so far that we'd had OG and Pascal on the court together. And that really shows something. Like, look, it wasn't until like New Year's Eve that we had OG and Pascal together on the court. And we were still a losing team with our losing record at that time. So that's what I'm saying to Raptor fans right now. This season can be so much better just by the fact that we may have way better health this year. Knock on wood. I'm really hoping for it. And that could be a big improvement and help to our season's record for the new season coming up and stuff like that. Sonny Mahal's back. I love to see you, Sonny. I missed you the last couple weeks. I'm sure maybe you're watching us later and stuff like that. But I hope you're here for trivia tomorrow because you need to do some more catching up because you're in the leaders. And I want you to be one of those top leaders in the trivia tomorrow. So 9:30 tomorrow, Sonny. Let's see. He said, let the Celtics go after Kevin Durant. Yeah. Listen, seriously, when I saw this news this morning, I'm sure some Toronto fans were like, oh, no, they're going to get Kevin. Well, Kevin was never never ours to have in the first place. And in some ways, maybe we will still have them, but I don't really care at this point. It's really annoying. It's really kind of stupid. Let the chips fall as they may, wherever they're going to fall. But this is really is kind of a cool thing to see Boston. Let's see what they're willing to do. Let's see how much they're willing to mess up their team just to get a big game name like Kevin Durant. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Kevin Durant goes to Boston and he starts playing for the Celtics, that's going to turn into a dumpster fire. I already can tell you it will, just because of who Kevin is and who the Celtics fans are and different things like that. So I could see that becoming a big dumpster fire real quick. So go ahead, make a deal with Brooklyn, Boston Celtics, and get Kevin Durant and trade Jaylen Brown, your best player, away from your team. As a Raptor fan, I love that. Go ahead and do it. Make my day. Seriously, I'm saying that like you would make my day. I'm not saying that like a Dirty Harry. I'm saying you would make my day if you did that. Seriously, it's very nice of you. Thank you. Yeah. So David's here. Good morning, gang. Good morning, David S., current leader of the Raptor Freak Trivia. So tomorrow, 9:30 a.m., we're gonna have trivia, and it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a little bit digging deep in the history of the Toronto Raptors. So you know your older Raptor stuff, you're going to do better tomorrow, just so you know. Tom Duke saying, good morning. Hope you're healthy too. Lex, you sound better. Yeah, I'm feeling mostly better. I still have a little bit of congestion and stuff. There was a weird storm in Toronto last night. It was pretty cool. I like lots of rain. I like that kind of energy in the air. It's kind of makes things energized and kind of cool in certain ways and stuff like that. Just looking at more news and stuff like that. Freddie Gillespie from our training camp last year and Tampa year as a Raptor has signed with Bayern München or whatever over in Germany. So Freddie is now going to go play in Europe this year in the Euro League. And this is the kind of logical progression of NBA careers. You get so many chances with G League and being on kind of on NBA teams for a couple of years. And then boom, you just become a Europe pro for a while. It's like a well-rounded kind of thing. You have different paths and stuff. And some of these guys that have been on our team the last year, like David Johnson, they're going to have to see what this path is for them next and stuff like that. Well, now we're seeing Freddie Gillespie going to Germany to play in EuroLeague. So congratulations, Freddie G. I hope you make a lot of money and you enjoy yourself and you're a big dog in a little pond, because I think you're going to do very well over there. And sometimes that's just how it is. You need to go to the place where you're supposed to be and do really well. Also this morning, I'm seeing that Precious is in Nigeria. He's about to start his basketball training camp. Precious Achua, you're a badass. Like, honestly, I see how happy you are on there and the things that you're doing. And you're all over the place with your camps and stuff like that. You're doing one in Winnipeg. You're doing ones in Ontario. You're doing ones over in Lagos, Nigeria. And that is where he is right now, getting ready to do the What If basketball camp. It's like a what if for young Nigerians over there that want to see if they have some basketball skills. Well, they can come in and get some look by the trainers and the coaches there and Precious himself. So that's a great thing that Precious is doing over there and stuff like that. Now we've seen Scotty Barnes is in Florida. He did spend time with his mother on Friday. It was her birthday. And then he went to Rolling Loud on Saturday. And then yesterday he was chilling out on the beach with family members and stuff like that. No Twitch this weekend. I think that while he's in Florida and he's with his friends and family from down there, he's going to be too busy to get on the Twitch and stuff like that. But we'll have to see where Scotty is by the end of the week and what's going on with him and stuff like that. It is his birthday next Monday. So I have a feeling he's going to be in Florida pretty much this whole week, just spending time with family and friends down there and stuff like that. So he's not in Toronto right now. Monique saying, can you believe August is almost here? The guys are flying in mid-September. Well, hopefully they'll be here sooner. Like, I'd like to see these guys come back and hang out. Like, we've all speculated who's going to be at Caravana and stuff like that. I want to see these guys show back up sooner. And I know some of them are actually still here. Like Chris is here, definitely, because he was posting pictures of his apartment view in the storm last night that you can see the CN Tower very well. And it's like, it was a pretty cool, crazy storm last night here in Toronto and stuff like that. So we know at least Chris Boucher is in Toronto right now, but we don't know if anybody else is at this point, because I know Pascal's been doing a lot more traveling more recently. We have no idea where OG is, stuff like that. Gary might be around, but we're not totally sure, stuff like that. It doesn't really matter. But we will see. Hopefully these guys will be around sooner than just training camp, because I like that they come, they're around Toronto, that they're getting an extra work at OVO, that they're maybe getting extra time, spending time together and bonding even more and more, stuff like that. That's what I want to hear the Raptors are doing and stuff like that. So, going back to the game, I want to focus really on this game against the Clippers this year. This was a great year against the Clippers. We swept them. This is the first game that we beat them. And like I said, I was supposed to be at this game. There were some cool things that happened. We had some good offensive work by Kemp Birch. He actually was making some pretty interesting shots. It was the first game he had started in a long, long time. Yuta had, Yuta got to play. They got to play a lot of the guys on the bench: Justin Chimpeni, Malachi, Delano, Svi got out there and hit a three. Stuff like that. But the bench overall wasn't the big driver of our team winning this game. It really was that big main three: Pascal, OG, and Fred. They scored like let's see, they scored 82 points between the three of them. 82 of our points came from them. And that is huge. That's a huge part of it and stuff like that. But it was too bad that the fans weren't in there, that Serge didn't get the right welcome back. And that, I really wanted to be at that game. And I know that my girlfriend was really disappointed that our tickets got refunded and that we couldn't go to that game. Lolita's saying, I'm tired of hearing about Durant's trade. I say, let's forget about him. I like our team as is: young, athletic, fast, and talented. Raptors will be something else. Go Raptors. That's the right attitude, Lolita. And that's exactly how I feel also. I'm tired of it. I don't care, give or take. If it happens, then I know that Bobby and Masai got the right deal done and that it was supposed to happen. If it doesn't happen, then I know that that's what it's supposed to be. I'm not one of these people that's going to be like a year from now, we should have gotten Durant when we had the chance. Why didn't we just trade him for him and all this kind of stuff? I'm not going to do that kind of stuff. I hate those kind of Raptor fans that are always like woulda, coulda, shoulda, and they wonder about what would have happened if we had drafted somebody else instead of Andrea Bargnani at the first draft pick. Well, we did what we did. You can't go back in a time machine, Marty McFly. So why don't you just accept how it happened? And, don't make excuses later on down the road. If there's some problems or something happens weird and you're like, well, we should have done it, we failed because we didn't make it happen. Well, it happened the way it was supposed to. And there's a reason why things happen the way they're supposed to. And hopefully this means that an NBA championship for the Toronto Raptors, whatever way things work out and the way they're supposed to and stuff. So I'm totally with Lolita. I wish this would go away, but I do really like that this could be causing a little bit of damage and weirdness for the Celtics with Jaylen Brown and him being so easily traded right now at this point. That's basically what I'll take from this. And some people are saying, well, the same thing about OG Anunoby. Well, OG's so easily traded, or Gary Trent Jr. from the Raptors. Well, they're showing that Jaylen Brown is so easily traded from the Celtics, and that's very interesting to me. In fact, that's the kind of tasty stuff that you want to put in your tea to flavor it and like, this tastes good because something's wrong with Boston right now. Let's see, G saying non-Raptors topic, but DJ Khaled is here and posting all kinds of Toronto stuff. Stop that Pats for a patty and oxtail. DJ Khaled is interesting. Like, he's really a Miami guy. Like, he's Miami dude. He's a Heat fan. He's Miami dude. Now, you know that DJ Khaled has a chain of wing restaurants. He's like DJ Khaled's Atomic Wings or something like that. And there's a location here in Toronto. I saw it on DoorDash one day last year, and I was like, DJ Khaled wings. I like wings. We all know that. We found that out yesterday. Yeah, I really like wings. So I was like thinking, maybe I should try DJ Khaled's wings. So I ordered them, and I got them, and I tried them. They weren't very high quality. Let's just put it that way. They were kind of gross. But I ate them because I spent money on them and I wanted to try them. And I ate them. And I'll tell you what, I got some of the worst food poisoning I've had in years from DJ Khaled's wings. And I'm not trying to strike down his business or anything like that. I'm just telling y'all the damn truth about what happened to me. So maybe he's in town checking up on his wing stand while he's here a little bit or something like that. But hey, listen, if he wants to big up Toronto on his IG and do all that kind of stuff, bring up our notoriety and stuff like that, kudos to you, DJ Khaled. I would just recommend people stay away from his wings. And if you like wings, well, Raptors got lots of wings. And there are going to be all kinds of great flavors of wings playing on the court for the Raptors this year. Check my stream from yesterday. You'll learn all about it from there. But, yeah, I don't know why he's here. Maybe he does have something to do with his restaurant that's here, his DJ Khaled wings or whatever. and stuff like that. All right, so getting back to the game, it's too bad there were no fans there. The energy in the building wasn't as good when there were no fans in the game. We saw a really bad loss to Portland around that time. But this one that was okay. They weathered it pretty good. I mean, on the other side of the ball, Reggie Jackson was pretty good, and Terrence Mann. That's the other thing I want to talk about with this game. Terrence Mann playing for the Clippers. This is we have figured out and found out that Terrence Mann is a really good friend of Scotty Barnes, and that these guys are pals, and that they hang out on off time, and they're big fans of each other. Like Scotty is a big fan of Terrence Mann. He talks about him kind of like he talks about Lamar Jackson. So this is interesting that in this game, Scotty didn't really get to play Terrence. So to have that big bam, 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 that matchup, so kind of shit talking matchup, because Scotty had just had COVID, and he was okay and back on the bench for this game, and he was being a great cheerleader, jumping up and getting real loud, and really happy to see his teammates excel and succeed. But he didn't play because he still had a sore knee, and his conditioning wasn't exactly right after having COVID. But I'm sure he would have loved to got in the court and played against Terrence Mann in this game. I think they ended up playing each other in the second game in LA. Let me just look at it real quick. I'm pretty sure Scotty played. La, 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 la. Wait a second. Oh, this is the game I'm looking at right now. This is the Toronto game. That's not the right game. Game 2. That's the one I want to look at. Let's see. Terrence Mann. Scotty played, and Terrence Mann did play. So he did get to play against him eventually in the LA game. But that's a friendship that's very interesting and stuff like that. Some people are saying, "Oh, is Scotty recruiting Terrence Mann to come to the Raptors?" I don't know. I don't think so. I think that they're just buddies and they have a lot of respect for each other. I don't know if Mann would fit with what we're trying to do here. I mean, he's a great young talent. Don't get me wrong. And if we've wanted to get him, we're trying to figure it out, I would welcome him here. He's not on my list. I say, "Oh, I don't want this guy on my team," or anything like that. So. But yeah, this was a really close game, this Clippers game. And to me, it showed like not only, all right, listen, they took over the game in the last 3 minutes of the game, Fred and Pascal, to make sure the Raptors won against a kind of a veteran Clippers team, a playoff team, a team of pretty good high caliber, even without their big stars. And the other thing that is impressive about that is that people like Fred had just came back. Like this is like really the first game back from COVID for like a lot of these guys that they had not been showing up, and they came in and they took care of business and made sure that they won. That this was a game that told me that our guys have veteran poise and clutch time kind of mentality for how to play it to win the game at the end of the game when it's close. That if they're going to do a chess match and figuring out, bam, you punch me this way with points, I punch you back with these points, you go back and forth. They know the rhythm of punching with the points at the end of the game to make sure that the Raptors are on top and get the W. And that was really, really important in this game. And I cannot stress this enough. This is something that not all teams are good at. That to become a good playoff team, to become a team that can possibly win a championship, you have to be good at executing in clutch time and close games. And this was the epitome of what this game was. That this game was close. This game could have easily been a loss. But our leaders of the team imprinted and pressed what they wanted to happen in the game, and that's what happened. That it's sometimes that. It's like sometimes it's whoever's going to put the impression on the game for how they want the outcome to be at the end of the game will make it happen the way they want it to and stuff like that. So, all right, guys, I don't know. Like I said, this is going to be the off season. This is the weird time. It's a little bit less quiet. I don't have as much to talk about and stuff like that. So I'm going to have shorter streams probably right now. So let's see. It looks like Fred's getting married very soon. Junior's in his suit on IG stories. I saw that picture of Fred Jr. in that suit. That kid looked so dapper. Oh my gosh. Like in a suit like that. Holy crap. Yeah. Fred is having a good summer, an exciting summer. It looks like he's really is putting in good work with his knee, and he should be real strong and stuff like that. The stuff we're seeing from him in his camp and stuff like that. But that's pretty cool. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to sign off, guys. Tomorrow's trivia. So be ready to know your classic, historic Raptors trivia stuff, because we're going to be digging deep and going back in the history books with the Raptors for trivia tomorrow. That's all I'll say about it. So the more you know about the whole history of the Raptors, the better off you'll do. considering how the trivia is going to be over the next month or so before we get back into the regular season. So yeah, it's going to be a little tougher, and the real Raptors experts will rise to the top. Thank you, DeRust. Good show. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I hope you come back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every single morning, live streaming. You can count on me, even though this is the dead period of the year. What is there to talk about? Well, we can talk about Kevin Durant and Boston rumors. We can talk a little bit about the current events and things like that. But sometimes the streams just aren't going to be that long. So I appreciate everybody being here, and I hope everybody has a great Monday and a great start to your week. Let's go Raptors. Woo!